going to start this video off a little differently. So hey everyone, I'm Dubstep. You can see I got a webcam now, but I also finally got a brand new computer. Also got a new chair and basically a proper gaming setup. I waited until Black Friday to buy everything I was planning on buying. That way I could get some discounts on it. And also got a green screen, but just to let you know, the reason why it looks blurry is an issue with the lighting. There's not enough lighting in this room. That's why it looks dark and grainy. Eventually I'll get that sorted out, so don't worry. The main reason I got a computer wasn't necessarily for Town Star, but for the other games like Mirandus and the Walking Dead Empires and Boxverse and other games. So, but it'll still definitely help for Town Star. I've already seen that I'm getting more frames per second on Town Star than I got on my laptop. It's gonna be a great help, I think, for the next competition. I'm still going to edit this video and organize it better, just because I don't want my videos to be unnecessarily long, and I still tend to check my notes to make sure I talk about everything I was planning on talking about. But other than that, let's get right into the video. I'm going to talk about the December Gala reward competition, which features the bicycle meta, then go over some suggestions I have for this competition, and then showcase a build I made for this competition. However, I'm sorry, big disclaimer, this is not a no NFT build. I know I usually make them. I utilize a full set of enchanted ornaments for this build since I can't turn them off in game. They didn't allow us to turn them off. So if you don't own those NFTs, the full set specifically, you won't be able to copy this build because the wages will be too high. But it should give you a rough idea of what you want your build to look like. And I suppose you could modify the build so you have something on the side making you extra cash to pay for the wages, which ultimately might reduce the rate. But if you do own the full set of ornaments, you should be able to copy this build. And it's only going to utilize a full set of ornaments. So you own any NFTs on top of that, it's just going to make it better. But before we get to that, let me explain the new item right here. So the meta is bicycle. It's going to be crafted in the Santa's factory, and it's going to require 1 blue steel, 1 mystic matter, and 2 lights. I'm not going to explain every single new item in this video. There are a lot of new items and a total of 4 new buildings. You can see all the information for these new items in the Town Star announcements channel on the Discord, or pause the video, you can read it all right here. But also I've updated the Town Star Playbook to include all this information, so you'll be able to check it there as well. So specifically, the only thing that's going to be cash boosted, they said, is the magic powder that's crafted in the Master Wizard building. The magic powder will actually be modified before the competition goes live. I believe they said it was 1 pumpkin, 2 brine, and 2 strawberries. You might want to double check that, but I believe it's going to change to that, is what they said during the AMA. And the amount of cash it's going to give will be boosted even further. I believe it's going to be about 25,000 per magic powder. So a batch of 10 will give you 250,000. In my opinion, unless you own the Master Wizard NFT, I don't like this rush. I don't even think I'm going to sell magic powder during the competition. It's just, I feel like it's too much hassle to craft the Master Wizard building, make pumpkins, make brine, which I can do with the Haunted Maze Zone 3 NFT, but not everybody owns that, and not everyone's going to go for an ocean to craft brine quickly. And I just don't think it's worth the hassle. Now, you can tell me if it is or not, but personally, I don't think I'm going to be making magic powder. So honestly, I'm not going to recommend it unless you own the correct set of NFTs to actually do it properly, efficiently. I'm not going to recommend it, and I don't think I'm going to be crafting magic powder. even though it's cash boosted. But definitely you do want to craft and sell bicycles because that's going to be the main source of points for this meta. Now, as for the biome you should pick for this competition, I'm going to suggest you do your best to get a desert and a mountain. I know there's not very many of those available in the map. There's a very limited amount. But the reason you want a desert is because it'll allow you to have the green timer on the sand mines, as well as the oil seep that comes in handy for most players who don't own any passive oil NFTs. And the mountain, although it's not required, I still highly recommend it because you're going to have a lot of mines in this build since it's mainly focused on blue steel. And with the mountain, you'll be able to build the regular mines, which are twice as fast than when compared to shallow mines. So if you could only pick either a desert or a mountain, I would go for the desert. Just get a desert that's close to a city. If you can get a desert with a river, that works too. Regardless, as long as you have a desert or a mountain, it's going to provide a big advantage by saving you a lot of time or space depending on the way you set up your build. So that's what I recommend the most, a desert. Second recommendation, a mountain. As for what to do for cash, I'm gonna say you may have to start with flour for cash and then go to wool and eventually build mines and sell iron for cash. You should have some fabric plants on the side so you can make your uniforms for later. So you can sell uniforms for cash eventually, although probably slowly. And I would say primarily use wool and iron to build up cash, uniforms if you can, until you get to the point where you can make blue steel. And once you have a blue steel production running, then you'll build everything else you need to actually craft the bicycles. I don't recommend selling blue steel. Better you just keep it for the bicycles. When you finish your build, if you don't have any NFTs, you're gonna need something else to make cash on the side. It's kind of hard what to recommend on this one, honestly. So I would say try to build up as much cash as you can. That way you don't run out of cash early. Don't go too crazy with the wages, which means you might not be able to afford to actually build nuclear power plants because they're expensive and also the wages can be very high. And you're probably going to have to dedicate a quarter of your build to something that'll make you cash relatively cheap, like wool. I just love wool, honestly. So you could probably make a quarter of your build with sheep pens and meadows and just pop out wool and use that to build up cash. Just enough cash to pay for your wages at the end. It's going to be tricky without those ornament NFTs, honestly, but it is still doable. You're just going to have a lower rate. So this is the bicycle build I made. I let it run most of yesterday and it seems to be averaging 9 bicycles per hour. Like I said, this build utilized the full set of enchanted ornaments, but no other NFTs were used. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from all sides. And this build should just kind of give you a rough idea of what you want your blue steel build to look like. If you have the enchanted ornaments, you can copy it and it should work. There are some things I need to explain though. You will just about barely have enough. You'll barely make enough money to actually pay your wages. In fact, you might even go down in cash a little every hour. If you have a sufficient amount of cash on the side, you shouldn't run out. Like, for example, right here I have 12 million cash and I'm sure this would last like 5 days if I left this entire build on still running the entire time. But if you have any other NFTs like the Miranda skins or anything else like weed stands, it'll make this build run even more efficiently, and then you probably won't have any cache issues at all. But like I said, if you don't own the ornaments and you try to copy this build, it's not going to work because the wages will be too high to be able to afford to pay them. So with the full set of enchanted ornaments, it's 19,520 wages per minute. Without them, it would be about 39,000. So yeah, you're not going to make enough money from running this build to pay that off. So especially since they kind of made it to where bicycles don't really sell for much. Like, you want to make them because they make you the most points. And I see I'm selling a stack right now. But each bicycle sells for 40,000. So 400,000 for a stack of 10. That's really not a lot. So other than bicycles in this build, you will sell anything you make an excess of. So I'm selling Mystic Matter, uniforms, and sometimes the glue on the side, and that gives a good amount of money, honestly. And I'll constantly sell silica and gasoline. Doesn't give much money, but I just make an excess amount. And I am running, so I'm running 2 sand mines, but I could probably get by with 1 sand mine. The thing is, when I was running 1 sand mine at first, I was hitting 8.5 bicycles per hour. And adding the second one, the second sand mine, let me get to 9, a little over 9 bicycles per hour. It's a very small difference. But adding the second sand mine meant that I was selling excess silica, which is okay. Technically, it does get more money than selling just gasoline. So I wanted to point that out. So this build features 23 loggers, 2 farm tractors, 1 ATV, 2 beekeepers, 2 beehives when making honey, when making honeycomb, 37 tree farms, 3 cotton fields, 4 sheep pens, 12 meadows, 4 clover fields, 1 clay field, 5 nuclear power plants. I know, very expensive. 1 power plant, since that one doesn't have to be a nuclear power plant and the build will still work. 2 refineries, 1 for petroleum, 1 for gasoline. 6 lumber mills, all making lumber, of course. 2 pottery shops, green timers, passive energy only, so I don't have passive water drums on these ones. No problem, because I have 10 water facilities. So I have 4 steel mills making steel, 1 steel mill making blue steel right here, which has all of these have all the passive energy we need. So I don't need to craft any energy for this build. Just want to make that clear. I have a total of 15 mines. 10 are iron mines, 3 are chromium, 2 are limestone. So the way I have it set up are 8 of them are iron in a row, followed by 3 chromium, and then 2 limestone. And finally, 2 more iron at the end. I have 2 sand mines. Originally I had 1, but 2 just to let me hit the higher rate. 4 glass factories. I probably will be fine with 3, but I just kept it at 4 since it worked just fine. 2 wizard towers, 1 for glue, 1 for mystic matter. The North Pole Creation Lab, that's going to make the lights. The Santa factory for the bicycles. I have a total of 6 warehouses, 1 storehouse, 2 lumber yards. One of the lumber yards is closer to the fabric plants so they can make the yarns. The other one's closer to the mines, allowing the mines to get up quicker. 1 silo, 1 pantry for the honey and honeycombs, and 1 fuel storage. Also, I want to mention storehouse. It has to be a storehouse. You want to store the glue and the wool. You don't want to use the pool storage, because then all your glue would just be getting destroyed. As for the silo, you can use the cotton storage NFT if you own it, because the only thing you will be storing is cotton, and that might be more beneficial because it actually casts, I believe it only casts one shade. So really that's all I have for the build showcase. Hopefully it gives you a rough idea of what the build should look like, and I hope it was helpful, even though it wasn't a no NFT build, but I tried. So I wanted to talk about some important things that were discussed in the AMA that happened recently, December 9th, 2022. So just some things right here that I thought were important. Town Star on the new Godot engine should be launching by the end of January 2023, with play to earn set to return as soon as it launches. Of course, anything is subject to change, but that's what they said. At the start, play and earn will work just how it used to before it was paused. So there's going to be daily challenges, and you'll have to place your reward eligible NFTs and then complete the daily challenge to earn your share of town points. You won't need to hold any Gala or town anymore, which is good. It seems like they're going to be getting rid of the Gala power and town power requirements. The point values of the reward NFTs may be subject to change, so they may actually be changing, because they said they were going to be reviewing every single one of the reward NFTs to see if they make sense for the new economy. However, in order for your reward NFT to be eligible to earn town points, you will have to bridge it over to the Geary chain. That means you'll have to pay an Ethereum gas fee if the NFT is on the Ethereum chain. They said this is the only way that they're going to pay out reward NFTs, only if they're on the Geary chain. The next competition after this bicycle one will be the Boom Canes competition. This is going to be a NFT reward competition, and they said the reward is going to be the Tree Farm Ghost card, which is amazing. Everybody wanted that NFT for a while. I think it's going to be a very powerful NFT. So it seems like it's going to reduce the craft time of wood, which means, well, you use wood in every single build. So that's going to help significantly. It's going to save space and possibly increase, well, definitely increase the production of your builds. The competition after that one will be the Rocking Horse meta, and that will be for the January Gala reward competition. Playing Town Star on 10 different days during this month of December in 2022 will get you a free candy cane storage NFT for the next month when it's distributed. All you have to do is make at least one trade per day on 10 different days, and you have to make a total of at least 25 trades for the month, which is easy. If you're going to compete in any of these competitions, you'll easily hit that quota. Town Star will be having a gleam contest, as they call it, and that's going to be starting December 13, 2022. And basically what that is they're going to give away one NFT every day for 12 days, kind of like a 12 days of Christmas sort of deal. And these NFTs are actually pretty good. I know they mentioned some of them, like UFO skin, big warehouse, big storehouse, rare winery. So they are pretty good NFTs. I believe they're gonna start it on Twitter. You're gonna have to keep a lookout. I'm sure they'll make an announcement about it. And basically there'll be different ways to enter, and every time you enter, you get an entry. And I believe by the next day, they'll pick a winner out of all those entries. And yeah, one person will win every day. It's unlikely that you'll win. Like me personally, I'm gonna enter in them, and hopefully I win a free NFT, because hey, if I can win an NFT, why not? And finally, I have 3 things to say. First, I am planning on streaming the next competition. That is the plan, at least, if no issues come up. And assuming it lets me. So I'll post the link before the competition starts, and see if anybody wants to hang out and talk. I'll answer any questions you may have. So now that I have a new computer, I should be able to handle playing and streaming. I won't know until I give it a try, so we'll see what happens. Second, I am going on vacation the week before Christmas. That will be the day after this bicycle competition ends. I'll be on a flight to Las Vegas with my girlfriend to enjoy some well-deserved vacation time. That being said, I don't know if I'll have time to make a proper boom cane build to showcase for everyone. But that being said, boom canes are already in the game, so I should be able to practice them now. And everybody else will probably be practicing them over the next 2 weeks, even though we're barely going to start this bicycle meta competition. So I'll try to work on something. I'll probably use another account that doesn't own all the Ornament NFTs. That way it's going to be a proper no NFT build showcase. And third, I'll try to push out more content for other Gala games as well. I'm sure we'll see a lot of playable games in 2023. And I'll try to explain different things such as the gameplay mechanics and strategy and how play and earn is probably involved, or speculate on other things about the game. So although my content won't be 100% Town Star, I'll still continue to make Town Star content. And feel free to watch whatever interests you. That's all I have for this video. Consider liking the video and leave a comment on what you think about all the new items added to Town Star, or what you think about Play and Earn coming back pretty soon. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so. I appreciate all your support and I thank you for watching.